NEO CEO's full internal meeting transcript got leaked and his was addressed to the entire company. This is super, super important. It's quite long. The whole transcript is quite long, but he said some very important things. So sit back, sip your coffee, enjoy, because I'm going to read through this entire transcript of what he said, word for word, and this is going to be amazing. All right, this is going to blow your mind. So sit back and enjoy. So the first, he starts off with, after the big three German car brands submitted a dismal semi-annual report, the hard days seemed to be far from over. And this was the internal meeting. This is what he started off. Internal meeting just 2 days ago. Okay, so he says, the goal and atmosphere of the meeting are very clear, which is to blow the charge for the profit target of the fourth quarter and to sprint forward. A new employee who attended the meeting said, this is a small-scale quarterly meeting held by NEO at the beginning of each quarter, and the participation range is for middle and senior personnel above a certain level. So it's not everybody, all right? Only the top guys and you guys get to know what's going on over here. VAU comes from the vision and action in NEO's values, which is a unique goal and processing management tool of NEO. When each quarter is open, Li Bin will review the results of VAU and synchronize the VAU targets for the next quarter with the company's business leaders. In the past year, Li Bin has repeatedly publicly said on many occasions that NEO must achieve a single quarter profit in the fourth quarter of 2025. Now, there are more than 70 days left before the handover time. At this meeting, Li Bin once again said that the profit target in the fourth quarter must be achieved, and he listed this goal as the first article of his personal VAU in the fourth quarter. This is the answer sheet that our whole team must submit to prove our operational efficiency and management ability. At the same time, Li Bin emphasized that the profit in the fourth quarter is not to show others, but the cornerstone of our company's long-term sustainable development. Li Bin disassembled this goal into 3 specific actions. Do a good job in the marketing of key models, ensure supply and reduce costs in the supply chain, and deliver high-quality software versions on time. The fourth quarter is to sell cars steadily, implement cost reduction measures steadily, and improve user experience steadily. The second is to deepen the full-time management mechanism, formulate a 3-year business plan, and continue to deepen the capacity building of the system. With the listing and hot sale of the Envo L90 and NEO's new ES8, NEO has gradually come out of the trough, and the outside world's confidence in the company operation has increased significantly. Li Bin believes that the low period is also the best training period. Internally, we should seize the next 70 days to further exercise the company's system ability and lay the foundation for the profit in the fourth quarter of this year and the long-term business goals in the next few years. Every step we take is for long-term competitiveness. The team should cultivate the ability to combine long-term goals with short-term execution, and everyone should do their own things well, Li Bin said. The following is the main content of Li Bin's speech that day, which is excerpted from Profit is fundamentally by selling more cars, not just by cutting costs. Let's review the VAU in the last quarter. V1 is a high-quality delivery, and we have done a good job in the overall execution. We have done a lot of work in the third quarter. L90 and ES8 were launched and several press conferences were held, many of which were extreme operations. All departments are working hard, showing the fighting power of the whole company. In terms of user development and operation paradigm, I think there is still continuous progress in the third quarter. In the whole Envo team, the overall level of stability of L90 has improved a lot. As for NEO, after the second volume and product competitiveness of the new ES8 have been confirmed by the market under our new operating paradigm, the conversion rate of lock order has been significantly improved compared with before. In terms of power stations, high speed 1,000 stations to 318 power route lines are connected so that the whole industry can see our persistence and determination in the construction of charging and power exchange infrastructure. V2. We continue to carry out the transformation of the all-person management organization around the creation of user value and have achieved some results. The loss reduction effect in the third quarter is still in financial accounting, which is inconvenient to say in too much detail, but it does lay a foundation for the profit in the fourth quarter. Through our adjustment in the third quarter, the company's expenses in the fourth quarter, whether it's sales expense, research and development expense, and management expense, are all locked. In the fourth quarter, we will sell cars steadily, implement cost reduction measures steadily, and improve the user experience steadily. The VAU in the fourth quarter is relatively direct. V1 is to achieve quarterly profits. This is the answer paper that our whole team must hand in to prove the operational efficiency and management ability. That is also something we must achieve. This is not to show others, but to show our long-term sustainable development. If you want to make a profit, in fact, if you do 3 things well, you will have a great chance of achieving it. The first is to deliver enough. Of course, the situation faced by each car is different. Like ES8, the core must be delivery. If one more is delivered, the probability of making a profit this year will increase a little. So ES8 is mainly guaranteed delivery. There are also some models that need to be open. For example, we need to further expand the sales volume of 5566. Every car is very important in the fourth quarter, and every car should be snapped up in the fourth quarter. Because of the adjustment of acquisition tax in the first quarter of next year and the end of this year must be the high point of demand, and the whole industry will face a decline in demand in the first quarter of next year. Therefore, if we can rush this year, our business pressure will be less. Of course. We also hope that on the basis as many deliveries as possible in the fourth quarter, we can reserve some orders for the first quarter of next year as much as possible, so as to alleviate the operating pressure in the first quarter of next year. If our ES8 is ordered now, it will be delivered in April next year, which means that the production capacity of ES8 in the first quarter has been full. There are many orders. The waiting time is long, and the order protection work is also very important. Therefore, the fourth quarter of this year is a very special quarter. Everyone can't delay even a single day, must not slack off, and must not relax. Again, everyone should do their own thing well. Each model should do their own marketing well, and every car should sell well. The second thing is the supply chain. The supply chain in the fourth quarter of this year is very important. For example, the demand for the new ES8 is better than we originally expected. In December, the production capacity of the new ES8 will be more than 15,000 units a month. From now on, we are very confident. The third thing is to deliver high-quality software versions on time, which I think is also very important. Except for the modifications of the Envo L60, there is no new car to be issued in the fourth quarter. But our software must be delivered on time and with high quality. This not only increases user satisfaction and the competitiveness of our products, but also increases the volume of communication. Neo-assisted driving is to liberate energy and reduce accidents, and we agree on this aspect. We must be the first in the industry in terms of assisted driving safety. An accident rate is at least 15% lower than that of the same period last year, some time ago. Ren Xiaoqing gave an exclusive interview, and I think he explained a lot of our thoughts very clearly. If you do these things well, I believe that the profits of the fourth seasons can be achieved. Everyone must unify the idea that unnecessary expenses should be cut, but fundamentally, we make a profit by selling more cars, not just by cutting costs, and we can't go all the way. Now, it is less than 2.5 months until the end of the fourth quarter. Everyone must be nervous. A first-class company can take into account both long-term goals and short-term execution, and NIO should become such an enterprise. As for we too, we have a very important job this year, which is to start formulating a 3-year business plan. 2 years ago, we made a 2-year business plan, which basically guided our work for these 2 years. The formulation of the business plan this time will be different from that of 2 years ago. In the fourth quarter, while deepening the management mechanism for all employees, each business line should formulate its own 3-year business plan, including the assessment and incentive mechanism of CBU. It should also be further deepened. V3 is to continue to deepen the capacity building of our system. Last year, we sorted out 15 system capabilities, which is the underlying logic of our entire business model. Where does our value creation come from? Where does our efficiency come from? What exactly is the underlying thinking of our business logic? If there is anything to summarize and reflect on this year, I think there's some progress in the improvement of system ability, but it needs to be further improved. Last year, we thought that our system ability We thought about our system ability very clearly, but in fact, we didn't do a lot of things this year. Every step we take today is for long-term competitiveness, but people are often forced by short-term things and let go of the long-term. So we should cultivate our ability to combine long-term goals with short-term execution, and our whole team should cultivate such ability. If we can think about things like this, everyone can do things like this. Influence and encourage each other, and our organizational ability and system ability will be stronger. The best company is that it can combine long-term and short-term, and it is almost only one head. If you only look at the long term and not the short term, the company will die. Only look at the short term and not the long term, and there's no development prospect for a long time. We should constantly cultivate our own awareness and improve our ability in this regard. Physical strength. What is the system capability? Systematic ability is the whole organization, forming a common way of doing things, thinking the underlying logic to ensure that we have the same underlying logic to do things. In the 15 system abilities, I will focus on a few things myself. The first is the 8-month rolling demand forecast is very important. Now, the effect of new cars in the industry is very strong. We are in such an era when it is very difficult to predict demand. How can we adapt to the changes in the current intelligent electric vehicle market? Yesterday, I talked about this matter with the chairman of some automobile companies in Beijing. Everyone felt very challenging, but if we can make it the most accurate one in the industry, we can succeed. If the demand forecast is not accurate, the company's losses may be billions or even hundreds of billions. I will spend more time in these aspects, which does not mean that other system capabilities are not important. My quantitative goal is to participate in more than 30 workshops and exchange meetings in the fourth quarter. Once every 2 days on average, the process of this discussion is the process of forming a systematic ability together, and it is the process of increasing the ability. I said before that we need to rely on our ability to get out of the bottom this year. Everyone should ask themselves whether they have the ability to rise. Is it more thorough to think about the essence of business? Is the implementation more in place? Has the system formed methodology and management tools? System capability improvement also includes CBU. The outside world, including some of the internal students, have some misunderstandings about CBU, thinking that it is cost reducing measure. In fact, its purpose is not to reduce cost but to improve efficiency. A company's resources are not unlimited. How should the resources be allocated? How should the priority be set? The purpose of our CBU is to let everyone think clearly about where the value is created and how the return is when spending money. If we know how to manage the relationship between input and output, the company will not be short of money. But if we don't know how to control this department, the money is all in vain. Don't think that spending money will definitely bring results. A lot of money brings negative results. Many things are spent and started to do it, but in the end, there is no profit at all. And in the process, everyone's time and energy are wasted. Opportunity cost is the biggest cost. If we have this ability, let alone spend $3 billion in research and development expenses in a quarter, spend $5 billion. You can spend more. If you don't have enough ability to spend money indiscriminately, you shouldn't spend even 100 million yuan. Doing things rashly before this ability is cultivated is the mistake we have made in the past few years. How did the company die? That is, all departments grab the budget. Any company that grabs the budget will eventually become a competition for internal resources and interest, instead of creating external value, which will definitely go wrong. We have to have this ability quickly, otherwise life will be better, and it will be easy to heal the scars and forget the pain. Therefore, it is better to experience difficulties for a longer time, and painful memories can stay for a longer time. Let me correct again that the CPU mechanism is not to control cost but to improve efficiency, output, and rate of return. In the fourth quarter, we should summarize and solidify our thinking and practices on organizational ability and system ability in the past 2 years in stages, and become a real organizational ability. This is not only something to be done in the fourth quarter, but also continue doing it next year and continue to do it the next year. We must continue to do it all the time and make continuous progress. Let me tell you about my recent thoughts. I think it may be easier for organizations to form capabilities and change inertia than individuals, because organizational goals are easier to quantify and accept, and can be supervised and promoted by each other. It is more difficult for individuals. For example, exercising every day. If everyone requires themselves to complete the exercise goal, it is estimated that 5% of people can complete it. Our group PK mechanism if 8,000 steps a day in recent years has made L1 colleagues stick to it, which is the power of the system. Therefore, I think we can be more optimistic and improve the company's system ability. Compared with one person's habits, there should be more opportunities to do it. Everyone should be full of hope and build the company system capacity together so that we will not waste our time at the bottom in the past, like in the past 2 years. We will deal with the market in the future. The future toughness will be even stronger. As always, stay safe, stay healthy. Peace out.